10 of the high school football season matches a pair of rivals as Dover and New Philadelphia get ready to kick it off for the 104th time at Woody Hayes Quaker Stadium in New Philadelphia. I'm Scott Robinson along with Chuck Rest. Chuck, the two teams couldn't be more even as we head into this one. 47 wins for each, 9 ties. This is going to be a tiebreaker tonight.
It's going to be the tiebreaker tonight, Scott. It's going to be a heck of a football game, even though the weather is probably not what either coach wants, but I'll tell you what, right now, I think it still will be a heck of a football game.
You know, Dover's won the last 2 matchups. Philly had won the previous 2. Dan Iff's had a very good record in this matchup over the last 13, 14 years. And, you know, Matt Dennison has his own mark on this rivalry.
Yes, he does. And, you know, like he said today in the paper, you know, he's really not going to do anything. That's Matt Dennison football. He doesn't make changes. Dan Iff doesn't make changes. You know what? Both teams are 8-1. You're going to do what you can do.
Let's talk just a little bit about the playoffs right now. Dover has clinched a playoff berth. They're second in the region. New Philadelphia is 9th in the region of Division III, Region 11. New Philly needs a win to get in. Dover could move up to number 1. Canton South's playing Carrollton. You got to figure Canton South's going to handle them. Carrollton's 0-9. They're going to lose some points. Dover possibly could jump into that number 1 spot with a win over New Philly.
Dover wins tonight, Scott. I think that's going to be the key. Just looking at it and doing a little bit of research on it, they're definitely going to jump up just because, you know, they're going to get a lot of points in this ball game tonight from New Philly. On the other hand, New Philly wins, they're going to jump high. Dover may drop to, you know, stay at 2 or drop to 3, but, you know, with a win tonight from New Philly, they're definitely in. A loss tonight, I think it's a 3 or 4 team, you know, toss the coin and see what those second level points give you to who gets that 8 spot.
It really doesn't take long to figure out why New Philadelphia is in a little bit of a predicament. Their non-conference opponents are combined 8-28. Dover's 20-16.
Well, that's the key, you know, right on the graphic right to begin. Both teams 8-1. You know, Dover's 8-1 puts them second in the region. New Philly's 8-1 puts them 9th in the region, and like you said, it all boils down to your non-conference opponents.
Well, we are going to continue on the McInturf Realty pregame show. Charlie Jones had a chance to talk with New Philadelphia head coach Matt Dennison. We'll have that interview after this on the McInturf Realty pregame show on Big Time Sports.
Coach, you know, as everybody in the county knows, Dover has this explosive offense with Lasowski, you know, throwing the ball, you know, all over the field. How can you and the Quakers slow down that Dover offense tonight?
Well, I think the biggest thing is we just have to do what we've done every week, and we got to play defense. We got to play fast with our feet. We got to run to the ball. We've got to get some pressure on the quarterback, and we got to play well in space. And if we do that, we'll be all right. And you know, we play good with defense the whole year, so I think we're going to come out and play good tonight.
Everybody talks about the Dover-Philly game, but a lot of people, even though they talk about it, have never seen the Dover-Philly game. You know, even around the state, people are talking about this big rivalry between the two schools. Now, Coach, if a stranger walked up to you on the street and said, Coach Dennison, could you please describe that Dover-Philly rivalry for me? How would you describe it?
You know, I just tell them it's one of the greatest rivalries there is, and you know, it rivals all the great rivalries, and you know, I'd say it's just a week of great activities, and it's both communities coming together, and it's just a great atmosphere.
Coach, you and your staff have done a great job again. Another fabulous season for the Quakers. Is everybody healthy and ready to go? Yeah,
we should be at full strength tonight, and that's what you want. You want both teams to be at full strength in this game, and you know, it looks as if we're doing pretty well there.
All right, Coach. I know you're busy. Hey, thanks for joining Big Time Sports, and best of luck. Okay.
Thanks, Charlie.
All right, there you have it, Coach Matt Dennison of the New Philadelphia Quakers.
Charlie for interviewing Matt Dennison, the head coach of the New Philadelphia Quakers. And when we look at the Dover Tornadoes, man, have they piled up the points? They've piled up more than 50 points a game. New Philadelphia's piled up almost 40. So some high-scoring offenses and a couple of tough defenses in this battle. So let's have a chance to talk to Dan Iff. So let's go to Charlie Jones and Dan Iff earlier this week.
Coach, a lot has been said. There's a lot of talk around the county about the high-powered Dover offense. Okay, my question to you is, you got guys on the other side of the ball like Will McEwen, okay? You know, Doomer Muth, who can catch the ball anytime you throw it to him. How do you plan on slowing down that Philly offense?
Well, you're going to have to play good, sound, fundamental defense, and you're correct. The running back's a very good football player, and Coach Dennison really uses him very, very well. I'm concerned about their perimeter game because he runs the ball extremely well over the tackle position and on the outside, as well as on the draws and inside. And then you've got to concern yourself with Tyler on the outside. I mean, I don't know that there's a wide receiver we've played against that's quite his caliber. He's extremely large, and that presents matchup problems. He runs very well. He jumps well, and he's got uncanny hand-eye coordination. So I don't know if you're going to stop or shut them out from doing their thing a little bit, but you certainly don't want them to have career games.
Coach, as usual, a lot of things on the line in this Dover-Philly game. How important is it to you and the kids to win the ECOL outright? This game's got playoff implications. This game, you got Coshocton and New Philly and Dover right there at the front of this ECOL sled.
Well, that's important any year, Charlie. But right now the main thing is playing this rival game and winning that. And at the conclusion of that, whatever shakes down, shakes down. It just so happens that if we can win it, we'll win the league outright, which obviously we'd like to do at this point. And as far as the season's gone this year, we've got ourselves in some pretty neat positions. And I think the important thing is the finish. I mean, we worked real hard, and we talk all the time to kids about it. It's not really important where you start. And we started the season with a tough loss. It's more important where you finish. And we won't be finished, obviously, with the regular season until after Week 10. So it's pretty important at this point, in this juncture, the way everything shook down, to win this title outright.
Coach, a lot of people around the state of Ohio have heard about the Dover-Philly game, have heard about this intense rivalry between the two schools. If a total stranger walked up to you on the street and said, Coach Ift, describe that Dover-Philly rivalry for me, will you please? How do you describe it?
Well, I think the key word you have to use is generational, and it involves families, and it involves generations of families. And I'm amazed always at the number of parents that we have that are from across the river, and I'm sure if you look at the Philly kids, some of their folks are from over here. So, and then you get together Thanksgiving and Christmas and what have you, and you've got uncles and aunts over there. You've got sometimes cousins playing against cousins in this game, and there's times when we're playing against a young man from New Philadelphia. His father played for Dover, or vice versa. So, I think that's what makes it so special. I mean, you don't really get that in the McKinley-Massillon rivalry, but you surely get it in this one. We bump into each other every day of the year. It doesn't matter when it is. If you're in a mall shopping at Christmas, or if it's a 4th of July festival somewhere, you're going to run into a person that plays for Dover, New Philadelphia. And the kids know each other pretty well at this point, too.
Coach, I know it's a busy week. I want to thank you for joining Big Time Sports. You and your staff have done an excellent job again this season. So good luck to the Dover Tornadoes.
Well, thank you, Charlie.
All right, we'll be back with tonight's opening kickoff after you watch this.
And there you see the records of these two fine teams. Both teams 8-1 heading into this matchup here at Woody Hayes Quaker Stadium. To kind of take a look at the teams, both teams have had some great statistics compiled throughout the season. New Philly has been outstanding offensively and defensively, the best team they've had in a while. The Dover Tornadoes have been solid after that first game.
They have. Talking about New Philly first, I would say with New Philly offensively and defensively, like you said, most consistent they have been over the past few years, and really playing solid defense. Offensively, being able to throw the football and being effectively running the football. Dover, on the other hand, Dover does what they do best. They just spread you out with Lasowski back there. He can run it, and he can pass it. I think after we saw him the first couple times this year, they, to me, defensively have just gotten better each week.
And there you have a look at Chuck's keys to the games. The Dover Tornadoes going to kick off. It'll be Tyler Dumermuth and Will McEwen back deep to accept the kickoff from Corey DeChira. And his mom gave me permission to call him Chico, which he prefers, so we'll go with that. Chico DeChira to kick it away for the Dover Tornadoes. Dumermuth and McEwen standing back at their own 5-yard line as we get ready to go. Corey Lasowski, what a season he's had at quarterback for the Tornadoes. 155 completions out of 227 attempts, over 2,900 yards, 33 touchdowns. He also is a leading rusher for the Tornadoes, 93 carries for 515 yards and 13 touchdowns. So DeChira gets ready to kick it away. And week 10 of the high school football season underway between Dover and New Philadelphia. It'll be picked up by Dummeruth at the 15, the 20. Still on his feet and taken down at the 33-yard line. Tackle made in there by Eric Abiel, and the Quakers have it 1st and 10. Let's take a look at their offense here on Big Time Sports. There you have Cody Cox, had a great year at quarterback, right?
Cody's done a great job this year stepping in at quarterback his junior season. The key with him tonight is the decisions that he's going to make when he's in third down.
Will McEwen over 1,200 yards on 182 carries. He's got 21 touchdowns. Tyler Dummermuth at one of the wide out spots along with Matt Burek. And we're going to see a lot of plays coming in from the sideline tonight for Coach Matt Dennison.
Yes, we are. That's, with what we got, we're just going to start here right now with the officials' timeout. I think McEwen's helmet is not fitting properly right now, so it gives us a little bit of a chance, like you said, to talk about New Philly's offense. And the thing about them is, just like I said, they've been very balanced this year. Cody's done a great job at quarterback, making good decisions. McEwen's had a heck of a game, or a heck of a year this year as a running back, and I think that's going to be a key to New Philly tonight, that they're really going to have to spread the football around.
As you take a look at the New Philly offense, Will McEwen, Cooper Hill in the backfield, Tyler Dummeruth, and Kyle Witter and Matt Burek, the targets for Cody Cox, as we have it 1st down and 10. Cox, the draw, he's going to be taken out by Chris Cecil. Penalty flag goes down, and I wonder if there wasn't a face mask maybe in that mess.
It could have been right there, right where he threw that. It was either going to be a face mask or a hold, so I'm going to go with the face mask on this one, Scott.
That is a face mask against the Tornadoes, and that is going to be a big-time penalty.
Well, they had a nice starting position about the 33-yard line.
Defense for the Tornadoes, Tyler Hawk, Chris Cecil, and Brandon Murtaugh. Strong front, along with Christian Ift and Tyler Murray on the corners. Bache and Mamarella and Johnson, other members of the linebacking core. On 1st down and 10, the Quakers out at the 48-yard line. The handoff straight ahead.
Got another penalty flag coming in here now. See what this one is. I guess we got 2 of them on the ground, but Scott, that's going to be one thing right there that McEwen is just going to have to beat the ball up inside.
Another face mask on the Tornadoes, so the Quakers benefiting from the early play of the Dover Tornadoes. Looks like there might be an injury for the Quakers.
Cooper Hill's holding his shoulder a little bit there at fullback. He's the lead man for McEwen this year and been all year long kicking that defensive end out.
He's going to stay in, so courtesy of 2 big penalties, the Quakers in Tornado territory at the 41-yard line, 1st down and 10. Cox under center, the eye. Cox looks to go long down the side. Burek's out there, and it's overthrown. Coverage out there by number 15, Colton Zahner. So the incompletion makes it 2nd down and 10, and things have finally settled down, and we get a play without a penalty.
There we go. 3 plays and 2 penalties so far.
So 2nd down, out of the eye. McEwen still hasn't touched the football. See if they get it to him maybe here. Well, just one time. This time they'll pitch it to him. And the Tornadoes there to take him down.
That's going to be a key right there, Scott, too, is McEwen's going to get the football. He's going to get his 20 carries tonight. What's Dover going to do? They're going to be able to hold him to, a couple yards each time he gets it, because if they just let him outside, he's got the wheels enough to, make a big gain out of it.
So the gain of 1, it'll be 3rd down and 9 with the ball at the Dover 40-yard line. They're going to bring McEwen out as a wide out. Cox out of the shotgun. 3-man rush for the Tornadoes. And it's incomplete. Intended over there for Kyle Witter. And it'll be 4th down, and the Quakers have to punt it away.
Had Witter come up from the other side of the field, just do a little bit of a crossing route. He was open. Cox just threw the ball just a little bit too high for him.
So Tyler Dummeruth ready to kick it away. Ian Dropcho and Chico DeChira back deep for the Tornadoes, back at their own 5-yard line. Dovermoose punt. It's going to bounce at the 15, take a Quaker roll, and rolls out about the 9-yard line where
Very effective punt there. It didn't look very pretty on the film, I'm sure, but very effective on Dovermoose first punt of the night.
So the high-powered Dover offense is going to get its first crack, and with the rain coming down, how much is that going to affect the way Dover moves the football?
Well, the one thing I've noticed there, let's go over their offense, Scott, first before we go on.
Corey Lazowski, we already talked a little bit about him. The wideouts, Matlick, Sattler, Gessner, and Drapcho. Mammarella also will be split at times. A solid offensive line, Finlayson and Orr at the tackles, Abiel and Jendervin the guards, and Cody Gordon at center for the Dover Tornadoes. Out of the shotgun from the 9-yard line. Quaker defense jumping around, trying to cause some commotion, a la the Cambridge Bobcats a couple of weeks ago. So Lazowski looks to the outside. DeChira has it. Little bubble screen, gets it out to about the 17-yard line as Matt Burek will make the stop for the Tornado, or for the Quakers rather.
Well, going back to how much of an effect the rain's going to do, the thing about it is Dover doesn't really throw the ball long down the field where you really have to grip the football as a quarterback and let it go 40, 45 yards. They're going to throw what you just saw right there, and they're going to and they're going to toss around about 10 or 15-yard passes. So how much will it affect them? I really don't think a whole lot.
So the Tornado's going to have to take a timeout. They had some problems along the offensive line. I'm not sure one of the Tornadoes might have gone out. They couldn't account for them. They tried to bring somebody on late. They have to burn the timeout. As we'll take a look at the New Philadelphia defense and the defensive line, Jordan Demateo, Nick Barrow, and John Phillips. The linebackers, Madsen, Burek, Dimmermuth, Hill, and Witter. The deep backs, Barrett, Bird, and McEwen. And let's talk a little bit about players going both ways for both teams.
Well, you know, if you look after you've seen both sets of offensive and defensive players, you know, you have anywhere from 8 or 9 guys from New Philly going both ways. Dover, they only run 2 guys that run both ways most of the time. How big of a factor? You know, it depends on the game. You know, at this late stage of the game, the heat's not going to be a factor, but depends on how much they have to run around on defense is what's going to affect them offensively.
So the Tornadoes with 2nd down and 1 after a gain of 9. Lazowski over to Mammarella. He's got some running room out to the 25 and out near the 27, 28-yard line. Very efficient as Tyler Dimmermuth makes the stop.
I think what you're seeing here a little bit out of New Philly
Penalty flag down too. Excuse me, Chuck.
that's okay. That they run a 3-5 defense where they only have 3 down linemen and then they bring in 4-5 linebackers. But I do believe that you know, the reason they're doing that, and I think that they feel that to be successful with this defense, you always have to put pressure, except for you know, from a linebacker on the outside. And I think that's what Coach Dennison and Coach Clarkson are looking at today. Is
So penalty on the Tornadoes, block in the back, and that will move the Tornadoes back.
well, so far we've had 3 penalties, about 6 plays tonight, Scott.
So that will give the Tornadoes, it's one of those crazy situations. It'll be 2nd down and 4 according to the yard markers. So Lazowski trying to use some hand signals to communicate with his receivers. And he'll look across the middle. He's going to be forced maybe to run here a little bit. Gets out of trouble, gets to the outside, dives toward the yard marker at about the 18-yard line, and he's going to be close to the 1st down.
Well, nice job right there by Lazowski as the pocket broke down a little bit. He didn't have anything to throw at downfield, and he had to scramble around. Looks like they're going to be about a half a yard short.
Quakers did a great job that time covering the spread offense of the Tornadoes.
Well, that's something. You know, we've had Dover how many times, and it seems like, you know, people leave that wide open in the middle of the field, and I think that's something right here you're not going to see New Philly do tonight.
Boy, if the Quakers could shut them down here early, that would give them a big confidence boost. 3rd down and short. Lazowski out of the shotgun, 5 wideouts. Lazowski's going to take it himself. He'll have the 1st down, skips to the outside at the 25 and out to the 30-yard line. Burek and Madsen there to make the stop for the Quakers.
That's that's going to be a key right now, as you are going to see a little bit of a replay possibly on this where it was just nothing but a quarterback keep, and they just give him so much, running room to be able to do what he wants to. Just sees the whole missed tackle there, missed tackle here, ends up, instead of gaining a yard and possibly a fourth down, Lisowski ends up picking up about 7 or 8.
First down and 10 out at the 30-yard line, so the Tornadoes have a little bit of room to work with here. You can see all the gyrations Lisowski making to communicate to the outside. He'll have some running room. Out to the 35, the 40, out to the 43, 44-yard line. It's a case that we talked about a little before the game tonight, the fact that Dover's willing to take that 8 to 10-yard run if the middle of the field's open.
It sure is, and he's not gonna waste any time sitting in that pocket, because he's a good enough runner. He's going to be able to do that. And if you looked at my keys of the game, that's one of the things I had was tackle, tackle, tackle. And when I mean that, that means when you get a hand on him, you're going to have to bring him down. And so far, he's picked up good yardage because he's been able to be elusive in the arms of the Quakers.
So on first down and 10 out at the 44-yard line, Lisowski takes the snap, looks downfield, throws to the outside, and it's caught. The catch made there by Kyle Sattler at the 42-yard line of the Quakers, and now the shoes on the other foot as the field positions flip-flopped.
Well, on the replay, we're looking again. The Quakers are doing a nice job downfield playing defense, and I think Lisowski's just sitting in there waiting on somebody to get open, and that's going to be a key to Dover, which they do well, is find the open spot in the zone defense and go ahead and let him throw the ball to him. I've noticed a little bit, though, they've hit Lisowski the last couple of times. He's kind of limping around on that left ankle a little bit.
First down and 10 for the Tornadoes at the Quaker 42-yard line. Lisowski will drop back, gets it to the outside. It's cut. There's some running room down to about the 22-yard line as it's Kyle Sattler again on the catch for the Dover Tornadoes. So another first down. The chains continue to move for the Dover Tornadoes.
Well, that's the thing about them. They just kind of pick you apart a little bit if they need to and take it right down the field. Now, what we've seen in the past is those catches have been touchdowns for the Tornadoes. The Quakers are keeping everything in front of them to make the stop.
Matlick, the leading receiver for the Tornadoes, 43 catches, 869 yards. Kyle Sattler, the second leading receiver, with 35 catches. First down and 10, Tornadoes at the New Philly 27. Lisowski looks to go long, got a man out there. Matlick can't quite hang on to it at the 3-yard line. And that was a nice play defensively by Joe Barrett.
By Barrett. He just come over from the safety spot, and the ball was just a little bit hung up a little bit too much. As you can see, Matlick just took off right down the sidelines. Barrett just timed this just perfect. Just as he was touching the ball, Barrett took his legs out from under him. Great job there by Barrett.
So it'll be second down and 10 for the Dover Tornadoes. They have scored early and often all season long. 6:45 to go. Clock stopped here in the first quarter at Woody Hayes Quaker Stadium. Scott Robinson and Chuck Rest with you as we bring you another regular season game here on Big Time Sports. To the outside, that one's going to be intercepted. As Joe Barrett will have the interception. The pass intended out there for Kyle Sattler, and that one just didn't have enough air under it.
I think that interception came by Will McEwen, I believe, on that. He just made a nice play, ran right with him that time. As you saw him a couple plays before, McEwen just let him run right by him, and Barrett made a heck of a play. This time, McEwen just kept dropping with the receiver as he's running, and Will was able to get up and get that ball, and big stop by the Quakers there to shut the offense down by the Tornadoes.
So McEwen with the first key defensive play. And on the season, Corey Lisowski has not really thrown that many interceptions, in total 5. As he makes the interception, then takes off from the tailback spot out to the 13-yard line. A gain of 6. It'll be second down and 4 for the Quakers.
Nice gain on first down right there by McEwen. So far, the offensive line for the Quakers have been doing a nice job, both in pass protection and letting McEwen run the football.
Burek and Dummermuth come wide to the left. Hill and McEwen in the backfield. Tornadoes have been pretty solid defensively along the front, and this time they're going to stack up McEwen right there at about the 15-yard line. A short gain of a couple. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
Well, big 3rd down play right here, because if nothing else, you know, if the Quakers have to punt, I know that they had Dover moving the ball down the field, but going to give Dover a short field in a situation if the Quakers can't convert this 3rd down.
Bird will come out wide to the left side. Dummermuth to the top of your screen. Out of the eye, Cox under center. Looks to the outside, and the catch is going to be ruled a completion at the 20-yard line as Tyler Dummermuth snags it. Ball thrown behind him, and he comes up with a big catch that gives the Quakers a 1st down.
That was nice, just a nice little 5-yard stop by Tyler, and like you said, Cox threw a little bit behind him, but Tyler with a good receiver hands, makes an adjustment on the ball, makes a nice catch right there for the 1st down for the Quakers.
That's taking it right off the shoe tops.
Oh, that was a big 3rd down conversion for the Quakers. Now they not only a new set of downs, but it's going to move the ball a little bit more.
1st down and 10 for the Quakers. Cox is going to take it himself, has some running room, breaks a couple tackles out to about the 32-yard line. A nice gain of 12.
Nice job by Cody right there. It was basically a fake right into the fullback, and then he just followed the fullback's lead block up in the line of scrimmage, made a couple spin moves, and picked up a nice 1st down.
So far, the game has lived up to its billing here in the 1st quarter with 4:42 to go. No score between Dover and New Philadelphia. Cox looks to go long. Will take it on his own. He'll have another 1st down out at the 43, call it the 44-yard line. So the Quaker offense on the move here early in the 1st quarter.
Well, Dover again, does a nice job, just as New Philly does defensively. Cox had no place to go, so saw the opening and tucked it and ran it. Nice job, nice spin, pick up another yard, gives them another 1st down. That's 2 1st downs right in a row by the quarterback running the football.
So 1st down and 10 for the Quakers at the 44-yard line. They'll stay in the eye. The handoff to McEwen got tripped up. Maybe made a yard gain as Tyler Murray finished the job.
Getting back, and you want to take these 2 quarterbacks and kind of compare them a little bit. This is Lisowski's been around. He's been a quarterback in this game. Cody Cox, this is his first Dover Philly game that he's been able to be out there under center, and so far I think he's directing this Quaker offense pretty successfully.
Now, I think if you ask Mac Dennison how he likes his position right now, I'd say he's pretty happy so far. Quakers really have dominated possession time here in the 1st quarter. 3.5 minutes to go. 2nd down and 9 for the Quakers. The handoff to McEwen. And he gets tripped up as Tyler Hawk there on the stop at the bottom of the pile. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
Well, the thing that we've seen, the New Philly's been able to move the football basically successfully both times they've had possession of it, just because they've been able to mix it up. Quarterbacks had to run, gain some yardage. Same thing with Dover. You know that Lisowski's going to run the football. They had 3 or 4 nice passing plays, but he also had a couple big 1st downs when he was in the ball game.
I didn't think Corey Lisowski looked particularly comfortable in that first series. Pass deflected. Cox picks it up himself on the deflection, still loose. And he's still on the move to the left side. He's got some running room. He could get the 1st down. He's got it, and he gets tripped up from behind by Tyler Murray. And that is as strange a play as you're ever going to see.
Well, you got. I believe you can see it right here that one of the defensive tackles had their hands up for the.
It was Chris Cecil that knocked the pass
and it actually
away.
Bounced off the shoulder pad of one of the offensive linemen, and Cox was able to.
How did he get away from all that?
Pass it and catch it in one arm, and you can see he just kept working. Had it right here. Should have been a tackle right there by the Tornadoes. Nothing. Now you've got a line of a little bit of line of blockers down the sidelines.
You know, when
Cody
you,
Cox just did a heck of a job on that play.
you know, when you get a play like that, you got to wonder, is it the Quakers' night?
Well, you know, you just never know, you know. And you can talk all you want to about, you know, the different schedules and everything, you know, the tougher schedule that the Tornadoes played. And you're not saying it's very early in the football game, but you know what? This is Dover New Philly game. You've seen how many times that something can happen.
First down and 10, the pitch, penalty flag down. That one's going to come back, probably a holding call against the Quakers.
Yeah, I think as quick as that was thrown that we probably got a hold on New Philly.
And that'll be the case. That's going to really stop the momentum of the Quakers here temporarily. That's what they didn't need right now because they had everything going their way.
Yes, they did. They were moving the football right down the field, and you know, you have a little bit of luck here and there in this football game so far. You know, the Quakers had the play with Cox and moved right down the field. You know, you got to realize they started on about the 9-yard line, so they've been pretty successful moving the football. And like you said, you know, Lasowski seemed a little, you know, offensively there. I look at Cox, and he seems like he's very comfortable right now the way things are going.
First down and 20 for the Quakers. Cox in trouble. Brandon Murtaugh is going to bring him down. And that'll be another loss as the Dover defense starting to tighten up a little bit.
Yeah, they look like they're getting after it here on this series now with that penalty. You never know what happened, but Murtaugh just, I think, beat Zukel right off the football that time, and just Cox had no place to go, and Murtaugh was, you know, good enough football player that he can bull rush through that and take on the quarterback.
Great crowd on hand, as you would expect, despite the weather.
Yeah, the rain's been going down now for, you know, an hour before the football game and coming down pretty steady.
So the Quakers second down and 24. Dover shows blitz. They'll bring 5. A little screen across the middle to Dumermuth, and he'll pick up some yardage out across the 45 to the 47-yard line. So gain of 4, it'll be third down and 20.
Now, you know your situation, Scott, and you know, it's easy to sit up here and figure what you're going to do, but, you know, you've got third down and 20. That's not a real play that you've got in your playbook to be able to pick up 20 yards. Now, you know, you throw something underneath, you try to pick up what you can. Now, if you have to punt, you know, you're going to make Dover, you know, have to go pretty much the length of the field.
So third down and 20. Cox out of the shotgun. They'll have 3 wides in the game for the Quakers. And I think one of the Quakers might have jumped along the line.
Yeah, I think we had McEwen might have just taken a false step right there before the snap.
And this first quarter has blazed by.
Yes, it has, with possession, New Philadelphia for most of the quarter.
And don't forget now a message from Jeff Mammarella, candidate for Tuscarawas County Treasurer. Re-elect Jeff Mammarella, Tuscarawas County Treasurer. While Treasurer Jeff has kept your tax dollars safe, earned the county $13 million in investment income, collected $16 million in delinquent taxes, has invested $30 million in local banks, implemented a prepayment program, and moved the collection date from June to July, giving taxpayers an extra month to pay real estate taxes. Keep proven experienced leadership working for you. Vote for Mammarella on November 4th. Paid for by the Mammarella Committee. Kelly Fishley, Treasurer. Cox from behind fumbles the football, picked up by the Tornadoes. Down the right side is Murtaugh. He's going to drop out of bounds at the 31-yard line, and a big play for the Dover Tornadoes.
You're going to see it on the replay. Cody Cox just did what he needed to do. He was sitting there. The pocket was breaking down. He was stepping up in. I think really that he was just in that position right now as he steps up to whether I want to run the football or whether I'm going to throw it, and he had to bring it back down. I think he hit Hill on the side. Somebody got him from behind, ripped the ball away from him, and now there's a big change of possession.
That was Chris Cecil that poked the ball away. Murtaugh picked it up, and we are at the end of 1 quarter of play. No score between Dover and New Philadelphia. We'll come back with second quarter action in a moment, right here on Big Time Sports. And we're back with second quarter action from Woody Hayes Quaker Stadium in New Philadelphia. The Dover Tornadoes getting a big strip by Chris Cecil. Brandon Murtaugh returned it back to the 31-yard line, and now the Tornadoes really in business offensively.
There's the thing we talked about. I don't think you want to give either one of these two teams a short field. So far, Dover's got the best of this one right now with that fumble recovery.
Lasowski out of the shotgun. The rain continuing to come down. He'll take the snap, drops back. Pressure by the Quakers to the outside. It's Matlick with the catch. And he is wrestled out of bounds by the Quakers. As Joe Barrett making the stop on the far side.
Nice little 7-yard game just on a quick out pattern to Matlick. Lasowski being able to just throw it right in there.
2nd down and 3 after the gain of 7. Tornadoes at the Quaker 24-yard line. Looking to score first. Out of the shotgun, Lasowski will take it. This time he'll run it himself. He'll have the first down and more at the 15, down to the 10-yard line as Joe Barrett comes up from his free safety spot to make that tackle.
Well, that's one of those plays I think the coach just gives Lasowski right now. When he sits up and looks what kind of defense somebody's playing, he's just able to, if he wants to run the ball on a quarterback keep, he's just able to do it. I think he saw something in the Quaker defense that looked like, you know, the outside linebacker was going out a little bit, and he was able to just come right off of his tail and take it up in there for about 11.
A first down. The Quakers will have to defend with their backs to the wall here. Tornadoes could make another first down yet without scoring. Lasowski looks to the side, now looks left. Rolls back to his right. Tornadoes slip out of the clutches of a Quaker tackler there, and Matlick makes the most of it as he turns a negative into a positive down to the 6-yard line.
Well, right there so far, that's what's getting really the Quakers in trouble is they're right now they're sitting, they've got it defended well. That first guy up has got to make the tackle on this, because if not, you're picking up, you know, good yardage after the catch for that by the Tornadoes.
So 2nd down and 5. 11:14 to go here in the second quarter. No score between Dover and New Philadelphia, but the Tornadoes starting to close in here. And this is where that quarterback draw always is a danger. Lasowski rolling to his right. Gets past one set of tacklers, dives for the end zone, and he's going to be just short.
I think he might have enough right there, though, Scott, for a first down.
Might be a first down,
yes,
yeah.
It may. There again, you know, the Quakers just missed that first chance to get that tackle and just couldn't bring him down, and he ends up picking up about 6 yards.
Matt Burek making the stop. It's 3rd down and short from the 1-yard line.
Well, do we think 11's going to run the football here?
It's a possibility. Lasowski takes it straight ahead, and he is very close. If he's not in,
he's going to have
it's going to have a first down. They'll have to bring the chains in, and now it's really going to be a tight call, you know, if it does turn out to be 4th down.
Right. You know, you're in the situation here, though.
They're calling it without even a measurement.
I think that they're giving it 4th down right now. Well, you know that Dover's going to go for it right here, because I think he feels that you're going to put 6 points on the board is going to be a lot better than 3 on this.
Wow, that's hard to believe. The ball's in the one.
Yeah, I can't believe
inside the
they didn't
one,
have
and it's not a first down
on that one, even without a measurement. So I guess
we must have a bad angle. Straight ahead. It's in for the touchdown.
Well, that was just a good second effort right there by Lasowski, because the Quakers had him stood up right at the point of attack, and as you can see, he was trying to go over left guard, and the Quakers had him stopped right there, but he was able to keep his feet and keep pushing. Duvermuth comes in from the side to try to pull him backwards, but Lasowski had the edge on that one.
So Lasowski with the touchdown, a 1-yard run. It'll be Zach Rafter on to try the extra point out of a Kyle Sattler hold. Good snap. The kick is up, and the kick is good. And it's quickly 7-0. The Dover Tornadoes with the lead over the New Philly Quakers. So they take the turnover, convert it into 7 points.
Well, that was the key. You know, there again, you know, a short field either way is going to, you know, both of these teams offensively are good enough to go within 50 yards pretty quick. And, you know, a couple big plays on that drive by Lasowski. Matlick had a nice catch and run. So It gets them 7.
What if there was one number you could call in the event that the unexpected occurs? A fire, an accident, or a burglary can turn your world upside down. At McKinnon Insurance, our specially trained representatives will help guide you through the process of getting everything back to normal. McKinnon Insurance provides services to help you in your time of need, from advising what to do in an accident to providing the names and phone numbers of professionals that can help you. At McKinnon Insurance, they're ready to guide you in taking steps toward getting things back to normal. Located at 875 Blake Avenue Southwest in New Philly, McKinnon Insurance will assist you in personalizing all of your insurance needs and help you make informed decisions. Call or visit Joel, Kevin, Andy, or Tamara at McKinnon Insurance, or give them a call at 330-339-3431. The Chira's kick picked up by McEwen, and he is going to be pounded back at the 20-yard line, and that's where the Quakers will take it over 1st and 10.
Well, here's the thing is, you just got to be patient by New Philly. You know, you're 7-0 down right now, but it had to be on a turnover. New Philly's consistently been moving the football on Dover, so, you know, no reason to panic right now. Just come out, run your offense, and like I said, they need to get some balance in it here to be able to throw and catch a little bit and give McEwen the ball and let him pick up some yards running.
So 1st and 10 for the Quakers. And now we've got a delay. I'm guessing they don't like...
Durham Ruth had tie shoe on that one, Scott.
Okay.
I picked that one up pretty quick.
So 1st and 10 for the Quakers out of the I. Burek in motion to the left side. Cox over to Burek, and he drops it. It was incomplete. And it'll be 2nd down and 10.
Put Burek in motion that time, just try to get him a quick pass out there, and Cody Cox let him just a little bit too much and a little bit too low for Burek to pick that one up and make a move. So now you got 2nd and 10 now. And I think that's things that Coach Dennison or no football coach really wants to be in, a 2nd and long.
Second and 10 from their own 21-yard line. Cody Cox under center. Cox drops back, looks across the middle to the outside, and finds his receiver, Tyler Dummermuth, and it's good enough for the 1st down out to the 37-yard line.
Just a little bit of pitch and catch there by Cox and Dummermuth. Dummermuth just go ahead and beats the man off the line of scrimmage and be able to hit the seam before the safety can get over, and picks up a nice 1st down for the Quakers.
So 1st down and 10 for the Quakers out at the 37-yard line. Dummermuth to the short side of the field. Burek wide left. Cox looks to the outside, intended for Witter. Trying to get the ball to the tight end, and they've been unsuccessful so far with that.
The first play, you know, Witter was open. It was just a big 3rd down play, and Cody just was leading him a little bit too much and too high. That time, I think that the corner had Witter coming right off his tight end position. There wasn't going to be much there if he did catch it. So now you're in a 3rd down 10 situation where you just about have to throw the football. That or a draw.
2nd down and 10, clock stop, 9:36 to go. Cox going to take it himself. Tyler Hawk will put a stop to that. Also in there is Marcus Mammarella. So it'll be 3rd down and long now for the Quakers. Dover leading at 7-0.
Now that was my fault. I forgot about that 1st down that Dummermuth picked up. I thought that was 3rd down right there. So now you're in the same situation. You got 3rd and long. So gonna have to come up something here to.
So 3rd down and 10. Cox out of the shotgun. Under pressure, gets pulled down from behind. Ball's in the air and knocked down by the Tornadoes. And a penalty flag down, and it looks like they're going to get pass interference, but I thought the ball was deflected. Was it not?
You know, I'm not sure. We might have to see that one. I'm not sure it was deflected, Scott. I think that a Dover pass rusher had
him by the
back, and he just couldn't get much on the ball. You can see here on the replay.
A fortunate call for the Quakers.
Yes, very fortunate. You can see, nice job right there. Cody tries to step up, goes to throw it. Yep, had a shoulder pad grab that time, and right there. I
That
think
is
was,
that is not interference.
well, I think
I'm
he
sorry, that
was
is
knocking the ball down, going after him, unless he had that right hand on his back, and we couldn't see it from that angle right there. But nonetheless, Quakers are going to have a first
Yep,
down.
doesn't
after
matter what we
this.
think or what the tape shows. It's what the call was on the field. It'll be first down and 10.
It's like you got Dumermuth in the backfield now, where he's just going to take off and run the football.
Quakers finally in that position where they can take advantage of the Doomer gun and let him try and run the football a little bit. They need a big game from him. They really do.
They need a big game from Tyler. Being able to be a kid that's played in this thing for 4 years, he just needs to step up and lead this Quaker football team all the way around, offensively and defensively.
Gain of 5, second down and 5.
He has the capability of doing it. It's just going to be, where they put him in and what plays he can make. See, he's back in the Doomer gun again.
So he is going to take it. Gets the lead block from Hill, and not much there as Mamarella slices in to make the tackle.
Well,
and it'll be third down.
This isn't something new. Coach Dennison's used this four or five times this year, so, I'm sure Dover's ready for it when they can do it. The key to it is, though, that number 32, when he's back there, so far he's run it, but he can't throw the football.
So it's third down and 5.
I'm going to go ahead and put him back here again.
They're bringing Cody Cox, though, out to the right side.
He's been out to wide receiver all 3 plays. That's a key right there.
And that opened things up. Dumermuth again with the big run and the first down for the Quakers.
I think right now, the way things are going, Scott, they just might leave him back here and leave Cox out as a wideout.
Yeah, he is going to have to make those big plays as Christian Ift gets some help from Drapcho and also Andrew Bache. And it's first down and 10 for the Quakers at the Dover 32-yard line.
Both these football teams, we have 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. Both these football teams have been able to move the football consistently tonight.
The handoff. That time looks like maybe Cooper Hill with a short gain to the 30-yard line. Tackled by Tyler Milburn of the Tornadoes. And it's second down and 8. So the Quakers may be surprising the Tornadoes a little bit with the way that their offensive line is opening some holes and allowing Tyler Dumermuth to gain some yardage. They'll go with the option. Penalty flag down. McEwen to the 28-yard line, and you got to think maybe holding again.
I'm thinking it was holding. I don't know. It looks like maybe they might have got it on Cooper Hill stepping up in there. I'm not quite sure what he did, but can always grab some jersey that we can't see from up here. So that's going to really shut it down. It looked like Coach Dennison decided after about 3 or 4 series he was just going to go ahead and let Dumermuth run a quarterback for a series, and it's been very successful for him. So.
And now a message brought to you by Steyer for Prosecutor, Patricia Loader Treasurer. Meet a tough, firm, and hard-working prosecutor, Ryan Steyer. Why do criminals fear him? Because Ryan Steyer believes in tough justice. Ryan Steyer has experience and leadership we can trust and values we expect. Ryan Steyer has 10 years of extensive criminal law experience. In fact, he's the only candidate for Tuscarawas County prosecutor who tries cases on a regular basis. Unfortunately, too many criminals aren't getting the message because Tuscarawas County has one of the worst records for plea bargains. As we continue, Cox on the run is going to be stopped. Ryan Steyer will stop needless plea bargaining and work tirelessly to seek truth and justice. Ryan Steyer has bipartisan support among law enforcement because it's not about politics, it's about bringing criminals to justice. We need a change in our prosecutor's office, and that's why we need Ryan Steyer as Tuscarawas County prosecutor. Paid for by Steyer for Prosecutor, Patricia Loader, Treasurer.
Well, on that last play right there, it looked like Cox just didn't have enough time to, when he sprinted out to his left, he just didn't have enough time to be able to set his feet and throw to Dumermuth as he was coming open down a little bit down the field.
Third down and 16 for the Quakers from the Dover 38-yard line. McEwen in motion to the left side. Cox across the middle. Dumermuth's there, and he is going to be close, but I think he's going to be short of the first down, and now a big decision.
We got somebody down on the other side of the field. Not quite sure who that is right
Looks like
now.
it might be Kyle Witter, maybe?
Okay, it looks like either Witter or McEwen. You can see that Cody Cox this time just gets enough of the pocket right there. The Quakers do a nice job offensively. Dumermuth coming over, makes a nice catch and gets hit. So we just have to see right now, Scott, who that is down on the field, because either one of those two would be a huge loss for the Quakers.
Thought maybe it was Witter. It looked like they got into a little bit of a collision.
It was Witter, because I can see that McEwen, who I thought was in motion that time out that way, he's back in the huddle, so it may be Witter.
We'll take a break. It's 7-0. Dover leading New Philly second quarter. We'll be back with more in a moment here on Big Time Sports. Big fourth down play. The Quakers going to go for it as it's 4th and about 1. And what do you do here, Chuck?
Well, you just there's no question. I think right now, looking points are going to be precious. We thought maybe wouldn't be tonight, but yes, there's no question. Philly's going to have to go for it right here, and I don't know. You're in a situation where you got a guy that's got 1,200 yards. He got him some way, so I think put the ball in 33's hands and let him pick it up.
4th down and 1. Cox under center. Cox. It stops in the middle of the play, and I think we've got a timeout or a penalty flag.
Well, I'm not quite sure. I don't see any hankies on the floor, but
we got too much time on the Quakers.
Too much time. Okay.
That is a deadly penalty in that type of situation.
Well, it looked like he was going to throw the football, but the key was that I think what he tried to do to begin with was go on the count of 2 or 3 to just see if he could pull Dover off, and they didn't bite, so ended up getting it down too far. So now you're in about a 4th and 7, I would think.
Now you got to wonder, do you really want to go for it here at this stage? Do you want
I think you got to. There's just no way that you're going to, kick a field goal here to put points on the board. It's too far with, the rain coming down and everything. I think, how many chances you're going to get right now in being in this situation in this football game?
Realistically, it'd be about a 45-yard field goal.
Exactly. So I don't think there's just any way you're going to do that. Coach Dennison, I'm sure, has got some, 4th down plays that they're going to be out there. You've got Dumermuth, who's made 2 or 3 nice catches here. They've tried to throw the tight end to Witter. Was open once, wasn't open once when Cox, kind of overthrew him. But, tried to throw to Buick early. Just let him a little bit too much. So you've got 2 or 3 guys right there to get the football to.
And this message paid for by Belle Everett for County Commissioner Committee. Susan Robson, Treasurer. Have you heard about Belle Everett?
Let me see. I think I've heard her name a lot.
She's running for Tuscarawas County Commissioner.
Yes, she's been campaigning hard for over a year now. She's been knocking on doors, meeting people, letting them ask questions, and she even answers them.
And we're going to finish that up here in just a minute as we continue on this important play. 4th down and 7. Cox looks across the middle to Buick, incomplete, and the Tornadoes will take it over. And I heard she even has a website where you can read more about her experience and family.
What's her website?
www.belleforcommissioner.org.
Can you spell that?
I think it'd be easier if you just Google her name.
How do you spell her name?
Don't forget, it's BELLEEVERETT.
Okay, hey, thanks. I'm going to Google Belle Everett for Tuscarawas County Commissioner.
Paid for by the elect Belle Everett for County Commissioner Committee, Susan Robson, Treasurer.
Well, big 4th down play right there, Scott, that the Quakers didn't convert on. So, take a little bit of wind out of their sails as they move the football on Dover on that series.
4:45 to go here, second quarter. 1st down and 10 for the Tornadoes at the Quaker 28-yard line actually. Across the middle, overthrown, intercepted by Buick. Buick still on the move, got loose, gets to the outside. He's got a lot of running room. Gessner able to pull him down at the 20-yard line, and that was just a terrible throw and a great interception by the Quakers.
That sure was. I mean, he just stepped up in and just overthrew everybody on that one, and that's something you don't see Lasowski do very often. He didn't have any pressure on him. He just stepped up, and the ball just kind of let go. Don't know whether it slipped on it or something. Buick makes a nice, he's in the best position to catch the ball. Here's the key to him right here. Should have been stopped right there, and he just kept fighting, and now he's got some blockers coming at him, and Stewart just does a great job returning the ball back, and you know that fourth down play, they threw him the ball, he didn't catch it. Here we go with the Quakers.
Dillermuth takes it himself down to the 15-yard line, a fumble, and it looks like the Quakers have recovered. And it'll be second down after a gain of a couple.
Well, I don't know what there. I think he just lost the ball, gone down, and again, you know, I don't want to look at it, but either way, now is the rain that's been coming down. Is it keeping the footballs a little bit slick now? And as you can see, it's been hard to hold on to the last two plays.
Dillermuth again slips one tackle, slips a couple of tackles, and then taken down by the Tornado defense. Short gain. It'll be third down.
Well, right now, I think the group that's really got to suck it up here right now is this offensive line from New Philly. You know, they know that that they've got Dillermuth back there going to run the football probably 9 out of 10 times that he has it when he gets it back there. Now they're just going to have to sustain their blocks and open up a little bit of hole for him.
So third down and 8 at the 17-yard line of the Tornadoes. See what they can pull out of the playbook. Cox, the handoff. And McEwen nowhere to go. And it's fourth down.
I think you're still in a situation. I know that you need to get points on the board, but I think you're just in a situation here with 3 minutes to go in the half that you got to get 6 on the board.
Bird will bring the play in. Fourth down and 8. And I'll tell you what, it's been a fast-moving first half.
Yes, it has. It's been just a good, solid football game. Both teams have had penalties. Both teams have had their share of putting that ball on the ground. But right now, Quakers got a golden opportunity.
Cox drops back, looks at a crossing route across into the end zone. It's going to be overthrown, and it's out of the back of the end zone. So the Tornadoes will take it over as they defend successfully on fourth down. It looked like Tyler Dillermuth got taken out in the middle of the field before that ball was even thrown.
Yeah, I think he did, because I think that's what happened. He was looking at Dillermuth on that play, and somebody just T-whapped him gone across the middle, and he ended up having to double pump and go to McEwen, and he just ran out of real estate in the back of the end zone on that one. So now we've had 2 golden opportunities by the Quakers that have kind of gone by the wayside here, and
you could say the Tornadoes have dodged a couple of bullets.
Okay, I might have to agree with you.
First down and 10 here for the Tornadoes with 2.5 minutes to go. They lead it 7-0 here in the second quarter. Lazowski gets it out to Mammarella. He's got a little bit of room to go. And picks up some yardage out across the 20 to maybe the 22-yard line.
Well, you're in a situation with Dover's offense. 2 minutes is a long time, so that's not going to be one of those things where they're going to ride a 7-0 lead into the locker room at halftime. I think they're really going to try to get that ball down the field.
It's an important series for the Quakers to try and stop the Tornadoes here, though, too. You really hate that momentum-building touchdown right before the half. Second down and 6. Lazowski out of the shotgun. 5 wides in for the Tornadoes. Lazowski's got some men open. Caught by Matlick. Matlick is trying to get to the outside, now to bounds, and does, out near the 40-yard line with 1:40 to go here in the half.
Well, the funny thing about it was that was about 22 seconds between the last snap and that one, and as I said, that they get down the field, but he's taking his time. You can see right here, he steps up in, nothing much open. He had to scramble a little bit. Matlick just sit right there in the open part of the zone. Lazowski tosses him the ball, and he does get out of bounds.
I don't think he was the only one open on that play,
no.
But he's been a solid target. 6'3", nice size for a wide receiver. First down and 10 for the Tornadoes at their own 40-yard line. They're on the attack here as we wind down this first half. Lazowski in trouble, taken down by the Quakers. Kyle Witter in there to make the quarterback sack.
Nice job by Witter on that one, because if Lasowski would have got outside. He had some running room, and Witter just held right on to him. So that might right there make a play stopper for the Tornadoes.
Tornadoes have 2 timeouts remaining. It's 2nd down and 15 with 1:15 and counting here in the second quarter. To the outside. Room to run, and the Tornadoes get out of bounds out near the 47-yard line.
Well, you got to realize too, the New Philly's playing a little bit of softer zone right here. They're going to give up anything underneath, and just make sure that they do. They do stop them from going on a long one. But the key is every time they get out of bounds right there, and they pick up those gains, it just gets them a little bit closer.
3rd down and 3. And Lasowski, you can see the hand gestures to his wideouts. Lasowski across the middle's got a man there. Sattler's got some running room, gets a block, gets to the outside. To the 30, to the 20. Foot race knocked out of bounds at the 15-yard line by Will McEwen.
Well, how about that for a big play with 54 seconds to go? Just found Sattler right in the middle of the field. You can see he was just coming across. Lasowski lays it right in there, and now he's going to take it across and use most of the field. Missed tackle right there, just on a nice juke by Sattler. Now he's got a couple blockers out, and now it really puts him in a situation with 2 timeouts to go.
1st down and 10 at the 15-yard line.
Something New Philly just couldn't have happen to him right here is give up a score with under a minute to play.
Very calm and cool. Lasowski out of the shotgun. Drops back. Across the middle. Very easy. Matlick open. Touchdown Dover.
Well, that was a play right there that New Philly just kept going backwards, and Matlick just hits the seam, and Lasowski puts it right in there as both your safeties for the Quakers are dropping back in the end zone, and that's one thing that you always want to tell them. Know where that goal line is, and you can see. And I forget to see who that is right there. Looked like Barrett was about 4 yards deep in the end zone when Matlick crossed the line. So that was a big series by the Tornadoes on that one, and something the Quakers are going to have to bounce back from.
Rafter on to try the extra point. Kick is up, and the kick is good. And it's 14-0. Dover leading New Philadelphia here. And it's not like the Quakers haven't had some chances.
Yes, they have. They've had a couple chances in the first half. Dover's had 2 or 3 chances, and the thing about it is right now the Tornadoes have cashed in on theirs. The Quakers have not. So you got a 14-0 Tornado lead here, probably going into halftime, unless we can get a big return by the Quakers on this kickoff.
Got to think they might try and squib it down.
Well,
the field,
I think that's what both teams are doing. If you watch them, they both have squib kickoff people because they know how. Both deep guys are a threat for both teams. So put that ball on the ground, especially on the turf. It's going to get some different bounces to it a little bit. So see what ends up right here with the Quakers. And we know, too, that, the Tornadoes will come out the second half with the ball. So, what that really means is, maybe not a whole lot if the Quakers come around and stop them on defense.
Scott Robinson, Chuck Rest, and Jay Yonders on stats for you as we bring you this game between Dover and New Philadelphia. The Tornadoes up 14-0 here late in the second quarter. And Chira, this time he's going to boot it all the way down and into the end zone for a touchback.
It looked like the Quakers had everybody up, figuring on he might squib it, and so he was able to get a leg into it and put it into the end zone and have the Quakers start on the 20.
So with 50 seconds to go, what do the Quakers do here? Sit on it or go for it?
I say you regroup.
Well, you certainly don't want to take a chance on making a turnover in this particular
spot. Well, the key to it is, like you said, going down and you don't realize you can win 7-0 at halftime or 14-0, especially the way you gave up the second touchdown, when you had them pretty much, to have to go 80 yards.
1st down and 10. Cox looks to run. Not much there, a couple of yards, and it'll be 2nd down. Tornadoes will be happy to give that up.
Yeah, I think they'll let Cody Cox right now run the quarterback draw all he wants to.
What a big score that is, though, for the
Well,
Tornadoes right there before the end of the half.
That's my thing right there. That, like I said, you played well. You've had your opportunities. You go win 7-0 if you're a Quaker coach and say, hey, guys, we're right there. Now you're 14-0 and with Dover getting the ball.
The handoff, and quickly into the backfield's Andrew Bache as he drops McEwen.
I would think that just about ought to do it for the half.
And that is going to do it here for the half, unless the Tornadoes force the Quakers to run another play, which doesn't look likely. At the half, it's Dover leading the New Philadelphia Quakers 14-0. We'll come back with much more from Woody Hayes Quaker Stadium in a moment, so stay with us right here on Big Time Sports. It's halftime at Woody Hayes Quaker Stadium in New Philadelphia. The Dover Tornadoes leading the New Philadelphia Quakers 14-0. And it's time now for our Big Jim's halftime report. And Chuck, boy, the Quakers had some chances, but the big thing is how are they going to respond to a late score in the second quarter by the Dover Tornadoes?
Well, that was the thing. You look at time of possession, but everybody that plays Dover probably has time of possession all the time against them, but that is the key. That second score right late in the first half, and that's what, basically I think may turn this game around.
Well, let's break it down numerically here as we take a look at the first half stats.
Well, Dover rushing, usual. Lasowski's going to run the ball 8 times, got 42 yards, 5.3 average, picked up a couple key first downs, passing 10 of 13, 142 yards, total yards 184, 2 turnovers. For the Quakers, a little more balanced, 20 attempts rushing, 56 yards, passing with Cody Cox, 5 of 11 for 50 yards, 106 yards total offense. Dover's defense right now is really kind of holding them together right now, as they really have not had the explosive offense that we're seeing.
The New Philadelphia Quakers had a couple of fourth down opportunities, unable to convert both times, and one, they incurred a penalty, a 5-yard penalty that backed them up, and that cost them big.
Which was a big one, because it was 4th and 1. They were running a little bit of, the Doomer at quarterback, and I thought they could have left him back there. He could have certainly picked up a yard, ended up getting a penalty, and that really led to that second score, I think, in for Dover.
And that is the Big Jim's Burgers and More halftime report. Stop in and see Big Jim's on the south side of New Philadelphia. Well, we have a moment. This message brought to you by the Mamarella Committee, the re-elect Mamarella for Treasurer Committee, Kelly Fishley, Treasurer. Re-elect Jeff Mamarella, Tuscarawas County Treasurer. While Treasurer Jeff Mamarella has kept your tax dollars safe, earned the county $13 million in investment income, collected $16 million in delinquent taxes, has invested $30 million in local banks. He's implemented a prepayment program and moved the collection date from June to July, giving taxpayers an extra month to pay real estate taxes. Keep proven experienced leadership working for you. Vote for Mamarella on November the 4th. Paid for by the Mamarella Committee. Kelly Fishley, Treasurer. As we get ready to go to the second half, the Dover Tornadoes will receive. They've got big momentum coming out of the locker room. What happens if the Tornadoes are able to move the ball here on this drive against the Quakers?
I think if they do that, the Quakers are in trouble. You don't want to go down 21-0 against Dover, because they're able to, score at will a lot of times that we've seen this year. This, I think, is a very key start for the Quakers here in the second half. They need to hold Dover. They need to get them to punt. No points on the board. Now get your offense back on the field, which has moved the football, and get a score on the board.
This message from Ryan Steyer, candidate for Tuscarawas County Prosecutor. Meet a tough, firm, and hard-working prosecutor, Ryan Steyer. Why do criminals fear him? Because Ryan Steyer believes in tough justice. Ryan Steyer has experience and leadership we can trust and values we expect. Ryan Steyer has 10 years of extensive criminal law experience. In fact, he's the only candidate for Tuscarawas County Prosecutor who tries cases on a regular basis. He's our neighbor. He grew up here, raises his family here. He's active in his church and as a coach to our kids. Unfortunately, too many criminals aren't getting the message, because Tuscarawas County has one of the worst record for felony plea bargains. Ryan Steyer will stop needless plea bargaining and work tirelessly to seek truth and justice. He'll be available 24/7 to law enforcement, because fighting crime is not a 9-to-5 job. Ryan Steyer has bipartisan support among law enforcement, because it's not about politics, it's about bringing criminals to justice. We need a change in our prosecutor's office, and that's why we need Ryan Steyer as Tuscarawas County Prosecutor. Paid for by Steyer for Prosecutor, Patricia Loader, Treasurer.
Well, Scott, getting ready here to go at the for the third quarter, where the Quakers are going to kick off, and you know it's 14-0. I mean, the Quakers, you know, by a long shot are not out of this football game, but again, you know, a couple touchdowns, but they got to hold over. That's going to be the key.
Chico DeChira and also Ian Dropcho back deep for the Tornadoes to take the kick of Andrew Sofer. Short kick's going to be taken by DeChira up the middle of the field to the outside. One man to beat, kicks it to the left side, and we are going to have a touchdown on the opening kickoff of the second half. And Chico DeChira puts a hurt on the Quakers with the opening kickoff, return for a touchdown.
Well, it was kicked short right there. You know, they wanted to pooch it down there to get him down the field, a nice high kick, and he just used his wedge blockers and took it up in there, made a nice move on Sofer. There was just absolutely no way that anybody was going to catch him with the speed that he has. So what we talked about, keeping him off the board, within, you know, about 11 seconds, they've got a touchdown.
So Rafter on to try the extra point for the Tornadoes, and you want to talk about a big play. That was it. That kick up, and that kick is good. And it is 21-0. The Dover Tornadoes quickly put an exclamation point on this one, and now a big hole for the New Philly Quakers, and you can just sense the air came out of the balloon.
Yes, it did. Now the Quakers are going to have to regroup quick. Key now is, you know, like I thought, if New Philly could sit here and pick up a touchdown in the third quarter, get something in the fourth quarter, get into a 14-14 ball game, you know, you're looking at things at the end of the football game. But now, 21 points here. The Quakers, I think, are going to have to put some points on the board pretty quick.
So it'll be McEwen and Dummermuth back deep for the New Philadelphia Quakers. Once Chico DeChira got away,
yeah, you're not going to catch him.
Athlete,
yes,
nobody's going to catch him.
You're not going to catch him.
His mom had to be jumping down on that. She was pretty excited about the game when I saw her this morning. So
yeah, I'm sure she's pretty happy for her son on that.
And he'll come right back here and kick it away, with Dover leading it 21-0. And the squib kick's going to be picked up by Burek at the 23 out to the 30 to the 32-yard line, and that's where the Quakers will have it. First down and 10. Looked like Tyler Milburn and Andrew Bates in on the tackle there.
Well, special teams, you know, you talk about it all the time, but people don't understand how big special teams are in a football game. You know, not only making sure you field punts, making sure you field kickoffs, but this could have turned this ball game real quick just the beginning of the second half.
Well, the Doomer gun worked for him for a while in that first half, and certainly was something that was an option probably in the second half, but now they're just down too much. Out of the eye, Cox under center. The handoff to McEwen, and he is met hard by Andrew Bates. And a short gain out to the 35-yard line, gain of a couple. They just haven't been able to spring McEwen enough to get into the linebackers.
That's been a big play for New Philly all year, where Will can hit that line right there and bounce it out pretty quick and pick up 15, 20 yards. Dover's linebackers and defensive ends are doing a nice job right there of closing down in that gap and getting a helmet and getting a shoulder pad on him right at the line of scrimmage.
Second down and 8 for the Quakers. Dimmermuth and Bird wide to the left, and Bates
had a good start on that one.
Yeah,
I think he was there. He could have taken the handoff anywhere he wanted on that one, but
tried to time it up and guessed wrong. One of the few mistakes the Tornadoes have made since early in the ball game on that first drive.
Exactly. You know, we started out this ball game just penalty ridden all over the place, and then both teams settled down, and we didn't have too many penalties in that second quarter.
Second down and 3 now after the penalty against the Tornadoes. A handoff straight ahead. And McEwen will get the first down out across the 45 to the 47-yard line. So the Quakers doing what they have to do, bringing it down the field, and trying to get back in this game.
They got to get in the end zone here. You know, even though this drive might take 5-6 minutes off the clock, they got to get in the end zone just to, you know, just get their composure back and feel comfortable about this football game.
Cox looks to the outside. Dimmermuth series well covered, and it'll be thrown toward Dimmermuth and knocked out of bounds. As DeChara and Ift over there to make the play for the Dover Tornadoes. It's now 2nd down and 10.
Well, I think, you know, with Dover defensively right now, they can play the pass pretty, you know what I mean, pretty much because they know the Phillies got to get on the board here pretty quick. Let's look at maybe New Philly throwing something across the middle, you know, to another receiver to be able to get.
Yeah, they've looked for Witter a couple of times tonight and just haven't quite found him. Handoff straight ahead. McEwen, nothing there, and it'll be 3rd down as Mammarella there to make a big hit.
Mammarella did a nice job stepping in that hole right there because it looked like McEwen had a little bit of running room, and Marcus just stepped right over there and filled the hole.
So 3rd down and 9.
And that's a situation that no team wants to be in, but down 21-0, you know that you're going to have to throw the football. Dover kind of pin their ears back and bring somebody.
Cox drops back, looks across the middle, and it's overthrown, intended for McEwen out of the backfield, and the Quakers are going to have to punt the football away.
Well, there again, I think if you look at it, you know, that Dover just brought a little pressure from the outside, just enough to, you know, throw his timing off, and as McEwen was running down the field open, so.
DeChara and also Drapcho drop back deep. And Dimmermuth's kick. DeChara will get it again. And he'll take the fair catch at the 20-yard line, and that's where the Tornadoes will start. They lead it 21-0.
Well, Dover's defense, or New Philly's defense right now, they just got to really pick it up and maybe try to get a turnover here. You know that, you know, Dover's going to still throw the football. That's what they do. So that's one thing about it. And, you know, just hold them here on down, get the football back, and get yourself in some position to be able to make some plays.
With 9:44 to go here in the 3rd quarter, the Tornadoes on top. 1-yard run by Corey Lazowski at the 10:08 mark of the 2nd quarter. Then with 50 seconds to go in the half, a 15-yard pass from Lazowski to Corey Matlick. And then Chico DeChara, big kickoff return to open the 2nd half. As Lazowski, the middle screen. DeChara again gets to the outside of the 30. And the tackle by McEwen, and a gain of about 11, and that should be good enough for another 1st down.
It's kind of a nice little wrinkle. We haven't seen that play too many times from the Tornadoes, that they're almost running a little bit of middle screen from a wide receiver. They usually try to throw the bubble screen, but see, just come into the middle and did a nice job just picking the ball off right there and picking it up 11 yards.
It takes a lot of patience on the part of your quarterback to make that play happen. 1st down and 10 for the Tornadoes at their own 31-yard line.
You got a rail. That's good.
And too much time as they did not get the play off.
No.
So that'll back them up 5.
Thank you.
Go slow now.
Oh, Pat told me to tell you hi.
Oh, tell her I said hi too. Take your time now.
So it'll be 1st down and 15 for the Tornadoes. And while there's the better part of 2 quarters to go, every second that ticks off that clock brings the Tornadoes that much closer to another victory. Lazowski rolling to his right. Man's open. Catch by Drapcho. He'll have the 1st down across the 40 out to the 43-yard line.
You know, you just got to be really, really impressed by just what you said, the patience of Corey Lazowski. You know, he just buys enough time that he's able to find somebody open, and it doesn't look like much, but when you end up looking at it, it's a 10, 15, 20-yard gain.
Well, you either have to decide if you're going to defend the pass or defend the middle of the field and not let Lazowski run the ball. It's a double-edged sword.
Right, and then, you know, it's just really tough to be able to do that with him at quarterback.
First down and 10 for the Tornadoes at their own 43-yard line. Lazowski this time gets away, gets it to the outside. Matlick has it. Matlick turns to the outside, near the first down, about a yard short, as Kyle Witter makes the stop over there.
Well, there again, he felt pressure, from the backside coming, so he goes ahead and rolls right. His receivers know that, they must have timing down so much that they know if that ball is not in the air in a certain amount of time, they got to start coming back to the quarterback, and that's exactly what Matlick did on that play, and again, pick up 9 yards.
So second down and 1. Lazowski with the 5 wide out set. Lazowski's going to take it himself. He'll have the first down and more. And there's not much you can do there as the Quakers do what they can do.
Oh, you're sitting in a situation too. Any coach wants to be in the second and 1. That's just a premier down to be in. And now what are you doing? Like you said, he could throw the ball down the field, or he could just tuck it and run it for a first down, and that's what he chose to do that time.
7.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Scott Robinson, Chuck Rest, and our statistician Jay Yonders with you. To the outside, Drapcho's got the pass. Has a nice gain to about the 37-yard line. Dummermuth is there. Hunter Madsen is there. As we get another look at it on the Weaver Barnes Rewind.
Yep, just rolled that way, just a little bit of a inside screen to him, and he just was able to pick up, again, 5-6 yards on every play. A key to this right now in this offense he's doing right now, they're taking time off the clock.
As long as they continue to complete passes, clock continues to run. Lazowski gets away, gets to the outside. Matlick can't hang on to it. It would have been enough for the first down. And it'll be third down and 4.
Well, that's about the first one he's dropped tonight, and that was, I thought, a very catchable ball, but might have taken his eyes off of it, and like you said, would have picked up another first down for him. So a little bit of a break for the Quakers.
Mammarella, Gessner, and Drapcho wide to the right side. It's Sattler and Matlick to the short side of the field to the bottom of your screen. Lazowski gets some running room. Now he's going to pull it up. Now he's going to have to get rid of it, and he's going to be sacked back at the 42-yard line. He wanted to throw it, but he just, I think he's already had 2 interceptions tonight, so I think he thought better of it.
Yeah, I think he did too, and he just held it right there, which is a good job by him. But DiMatteo, he and Witter stayed with it, and they were just running him out of the pocket, and finally get him for a little bit of a sack here. So it's fourth down, just what the Quakers needed. And
it looks like right now the Tornadoes going to go for it.
I just can't believe this, but
well, that's the team they've got on the field right now.
Yes, it is. So maybe Coach Hift is a little.
That is interesting.
It's very interesting because you
pin the other team
punt
deep.
the ball,
What's the
you're going to
difference?
pin them deep, and you're going to take time off the clock. And now we've got an official's timeout here. We're
I don't know, you may be trying to force New Philly into taking a timeout here.
well, right. I think what they got here is Witter had a little problem with his helmet or something, so they just leave him in the ball game. So, yeah, you got 4th and 9. So
You give the Quakers great field position if you don't get it here. And it could be a short punt, too, by Lazowski. That he's back deeper
yes,
than normal.
that's it. That's what I want to look at, is Lazowski just going to go ahead and
He's tried that a
punt the
couple of
football.
times,
Yes.
just with the quick kick type thing. And that is the case. And he lays it down there nicely. Matlick able to save it back in. Tornadoes will keep the Quakers pinned back deep.
that was an excellent job right there. A nice punt by Lazowski, and a nice job by Matlick getting down there and keeping it out of the end zone. So now when you talk about pinning them deep, the Quakers are going to have to go about 96 yards for a touchdown on this one.
And now you're in a situation where the weather's bad. You're down 21. You're deep in your own territory. A turnover here you can't afford to make.
And you're in a situation too where, you know, you do throw the ball every once in a while down here, and you've seen it done many times to get you out of a hole. But you know, the way that the game's going tonight right now, I think you have to pound it up in there a couple times and hopefully pick up a first down.
So 1st down and 10 for the Quakers. They'll stay in the I. The handoff straight ahead to McEwen, and a nice tackle by Chris Cecil that may have saved a big gainer.
I think that was going to save a big one on that one, because that was just a shoestring tackle. You can see that Cecil made, because
he was
nice
off to the
hole in
races.
there, and yes, he was. He had a nice blocking up front by the Tornadoes and or by the Quakers, and looked like McEwen just had a little bit of seam right there, but Cecil was just enough to hold him up.
2nd down and 5. The handoff to McEwen again. This time he'll squirt forward, but he is still going to be short of the first down. It'll be 3rd down.
Well, that's the key right now. They got to get themselves in the situation here, which is good. They got 3rd 1, 3rd 2, and you know, just get them out of the hole where they can be able to use all their offense that they have in the playbook. Big 3rd down here for the Quakers, just to get the ball.
That's a huge
moving
3rd
down the
down,
field.
really.
They have to punt from here, you know. Now you give them a short field again, and that's not a good thing.
3rd down and 1. Cox, they hand off straight ahead, and I'm not sure that McEwen got it. I think he's well
Yes,
short.
I think he might have lost a half a yard on that one, so that's just Dover's front 7 were just pretty much going to outman Philly's front.
So they lost about a yard there. It'll be 4th down. And Chico DeChara back deep along with, I believe it's Kyle Sattler this time.
I believe it is.
So Dumermuth will have to punt out of his own end zone. High snap through his hands, out of bounds, and a safety. And that'll be a couple of points more for the Tornadoes, making it 23-0.
Well, you know, I was just sitting there thinking, I thought, you know, you're down 21-0. Maybe a safety might not be too bad. At least you'll be able to kick and make it a little bit of a longer field for him. And about the time I thought about that, I think Ethan Zook just snapped it a little bit high and right through Dumermuth's hands. So now you are in a safety situation where you're going to have to do something from your 20-yard line. Get the option here of either kicking off or to punt. So we'll see who comes out to do the honors.
You know, the tough part about all this is now the Quakers on the bubble with the playoffs.
Right. You know, it's going to depend, like we talked about.
That is if Dover would win.
Right. If Dover goes on to win here, you know, there was about 3 or 4 teams on the bubble that one of them win. You know, they got a good shot at getting in, because there's 4 teams that are really locked in, possibly hundredths of a point to get somebody in that number 8 spot.
This game just really turned in that first half. I think if the Quakers could have scored early, I think this would be a completely different game.
Well, them scoring early or holding the Tornadoes out in that key drive that they had with about 2.5 minutes to go that put them up 14-0.
Dumermuth will kick it away. DeChara is going to pick it up, and he is going to get good yardage back to about the 49-yard line, where the Tornadoes will have a short field. They lead at 23-0 with 3:43 to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Yep, that's just good field position for the Tornadoes to start with. Not much you could do. I mean, that was a decent punt by Dumermuth after the safety. So now I think some way, somehow, Quakers are going to have to come up with some kind of a turnover.
1st down and 10 for the Tornadoes at their own 49-yard line. And Lazowski leads the troops out. Lazowski is going to take it himself, and he's got some room to run. Kicks it to the outside to the 40 and down to about the 36-yard line. Gain of 13. Hey, from suits to work boots, try Miller Clothing and Shoes in downtown New Philly. Marty Miller has a team of all-stars like Hager, Lee, and Wrangler jeans. For your feet, it's Hush Puppy and Red Wing shoes. And you can complete your wardrobe with Carhartt, Van Heusen, and Arrow. The best is at Miller Clothing and Shoes. See Miller Clothing and Shoes today in downtown New Philadelphia. First down and 10 for the Tornadoes at the Quaker 37-yard line. And again, too much time, I think, or some movement along the
I think
line.
we might have had a little bit of movement on the Tornado offense there. One of the linemen might have moved.
It's taken an awful long time. I know they want to use up all of the play clock they can, all the time allotted, but they are running it right down to the wire, and I don't think they're getting the signals out, really in enough time sometimes to get everybody set.
Right. That, like you said, I think that's what they're looking at right now is just taking time off the clock, and they're using that full 25 seconds, and that's hard for those offensive linemen to sit in that position for that long.
First down and 15. Lazowski takes the snap. Looks to go across the middle. Mammarella is there. Mammarella has a carry down to the 20-yard line. And the Tornadoes, again, deep in New Philly territory.
Just another job, or just another nice job right there. Mammarella comes off from the 3 wide outside and just sits right in the middle of the field and gets in the zone, opening in the zone, and Lazowski's just able to put it right on the numbers to him. You just watch them, and like you said, they're not, when you talk about big plays, Scott, it's just 10 and 15, 20 yards at a time.
First down and 10 for the Tornadoes at the Quaker 20-yard line. 2.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Lazowski looked at the bubble screen. Now he's in trouble. Lobs it over the head of one defender, and it's incomplete. And it will be second down and 10. Tried to make something out of nothing by a little shot put
He
pass
almost
there.
had it. He just shot put it out there, and that would have been a heck of a gain by the Tornadoes on that one. So now you're sitting with a second and 10 with him. So I think, like I said, I'm just impressed so much with the patience that he has at quarterback, and the offense. I'm not even sure that they even signal in plays to him anymore.
Lazowski ready to take the snap on second down and 10 at the New Philly 20. Quarterback draw, lots of room to run in the middle of the field, down to the 7-yard line before Hunter Madsen able to make the stop. Looked like he might be able to go all the way.
And Madsen did a nice job right there running him down, but he just had a big opening right in the middle, and I think he looks at that. He looks downfield, and I think if his offensive lineman can take the defensive lineman and give him a little bit of a seam, he's going to take it and go, and knowing that he can get, positive yardage out every time he runs a football.
First down and goal from the 8-yard line. Lazowski, the handoff to Mammarella. He's going to take it in from 8 yards out.
Well, that's just another little wrinkle that they've showed that they've had positive yardage on when they put Mammarella right in the backfield. Lazowski rides him in and can either give it to him or keep it. That time he gave it to Mammarella, and offensive line just did a great job opening up a hole, and he took it right in the end zone.
So the Tornadoes have scored on a quarterback run. They've scored on a pass. They've scored on a kickoff return. They've scored on a safety. And now another run.
Another run. So, yep, they've just been able to put the ball in the end zone many different ways tonight.
And the extra point is good, making it 30-0. Dover with the lead over New Philadelphia with 1:50 to go here in the third quarter.
Well, it was one of those situations, Scott. I really thought that, and we can keep talking about it all we want to, but I really thought New Philadelphia had the balance this year to be able to keep Dover, you know what I mean, on their toes a little bit, because they had the receivers, they had a good running back in McEwen, and so far Dover has basically shut McEwen down. And they've been able to move the ball, like you said, with Dumermuth at quarterback, with Cox at quarterback a little bit. But when they didn't get the ball in the end zone a couple times the first half, and when they gave up that touchdown right at the end of the half, I thought those were key turning points of this ball game. So far the second half, it's been nothing this third quarter, nothing but Dover.
Don't forget, we will have Dover playoff football coming up next Saturday night from likely to be Crater Stadium. And we'll have to wait and see about New Philadelphia. As the ball scuffed along the turf, Burek had it, dropped it, got it back. Faces a wall of white and is knocked down around the 20-yard line.
Well, so far right now, this third quarter, the wheels have kind of come off the Quaker football team, and they just got to regroup here and just go ahead and get positive things out of the rest of this third quarter. And I'd have to say, pretty much look and make this game respectable right now. It's going to be tough to score 30 points on Dover.
Tornadoes have given up, I believe, an average of 16 a game all season. First down and 10 for the Quakers from their own 22-yard line. Cox looks to go to the outside, and it's overthrown as Dumermuth kind of got jammed there at the line of scrimmage, couldn't get out in the pattern.
Well, that might have been a nice job right there by Cody, but just stealing the ball away, as I really don't think that he even thought Tyler was going to go down the field, because that ball was put on the bench of the Quakers. So, that's another thing you just talked about too. The Quakers are usually only giving up about 10 points a game too defensively, so this has been kind of a little bit of a new thing for them this year.
Second down and 10. McEwen, the handoff to the 25. Gain of 3. It'll be third down and 7.
I've been relatively impressed with this Dover defensive line. You see McEwen hit up in there, and he's gone full bore when he gets that football. And Dover's always had somebody there to stick a hand out or make a tackle on him. He's only gaining a couple yards every time he touches it.
Third down and 7. Cox rolling out. The pass out to Witter. He's going to have the first down. Dives out to the 35-yard line. And he'll have a first down for the Quakers. They have to take their good news in small doses, and a first down right now for the Quakers is good news.
It is, and that was a nice job by Witter. He was just running a little 5-yard out pattern as he was a tight end on that side. Makes a nice catch with it and does a nice job staying on his feet right here to pick up that first down, because he didn't have it right when he caught the football. So, like you said, that's just a positive thing for the Quakers right now, and that's just what they have to do.
Did you lose it out there? Yeah. I'll have him make an announcement. Okay. You come back up and check then. Okay.
First down and 10 for the Quakers. Cox takes it himself. Nice gain. As Carson Gessner making the tackle.
A little bit of an option right there by putting Burek in motion and taking the ball up into McEwen and going ahead to Cooper Hill and gone ahead and run a little bit of option where he just kept it, and nice 5-yard gain.
Second down and 5 as we wind down the third quarter. And the handoff straight ahead, and not much there as Brandon Murtaugh makes the stop for the Tornadoes. And that is the end of the third quarter. We'll come back with fourth quarter action here on Big Time Sports in a moment, so stay with us right here. Starting the fourth quarter, the Dover Tornadoes leading the New Philadelphia Quakers 30-0. Hey, what if there was one number you could call in the event that the unexpected occurs? A fire, an accident, or a burglary can turn your world upside down. At McKinnon Insurance, our specially trained representatives will help guide you through the process of getting everything back to normal. Purchasing insurance shouldn't be a difficult decision, and if you're uncertain about your current coverage and would like straightforward answers, visit the fully licensed professional staff at McKinnon Insurance. As we have the option from Dumermuth to McEwen, they'll lose yardage. It'll be fourth down. So don't forget to visit the fully licensed professional staff at McKinnon Insurance for your auto, home, business, health, or life insurance. Call or visit Joel, Kevin, Andy, or Tamara. McKinnon Insurance at 875 Blake Avenue Southwest in New Philadelphia. They'll assist you in personalizing all of your insurance needs and help you make informed decisions. Give them a call at 330-339-3431. As Dumermuth will punt it away. This time picked up by Sattler. Not much room to run as Madsen will make the stop. And the Tornadoes will have the football back with 11:17 to go here in the fourth quarter.
Well, I guess we look at this one right now. It's got gone into the fourth quarter, 30-0 to Dover. I guess personally, I just never thought this ball game would be this way. You know what I mean? I really thought that New Philly had, you know, the offense to be able to put some points on the board. You knew Dover was going to put points on the board, and I really thought it might be, you know, into the 30s football game, and I think really the key to this game has been Dover's defense.
Well, I think so too, and now the delicate balance for Dan Ift is how long do I play my starters? You know, I can't afford to get Corey Lazowski hurt. Lazowski gets it to the outside. It's caught. And Ian Dropcho has it out near midfield at the 50-yard line.
Well, you say that question right there, and I think an answer that you know I would give you is, you go ahead and put another 7 on the board, see where it is. If you've got 6 minutes, you know, to go in the football game, something like that, you can see he just has to scramble here a little bit. Dropcho's just sitting right out there, and again in that open zone, and he's just going to be able to pick up that first down.
First down and 10 for the Tornadoes at midfield. Quakers had some chances early in the ball game. They were unable to convert. And the Tornadoes have been on a run. As nice catch there by Kyle Sattler down at the 28-yard line. Boy, you can't do much about that.
No,
he made a super catch.
He was been kind of quiet since the first quarter when he made a couple big catches, and this one here, he just took him right down to the middle of the field, and Lazowski was able to step right in there, and Sattler just goes up and makes a great catch right there to just, I guess, put more fuel on the fire for the Tornadoes offense. That was a heck of a catch by Sattler on that one.
First down and 10, Dover at the Quaker 28-yard line. And Lazowski's going to take it himself. He's got room to run to the 20, spin move to the 15. And again, it made it look easy before Joe Barrett able to make the stop.
And another first down for the Tornadoes, and like you said, this drive here has looked awful easy. This is things we've seen them do all year long, and never thought they'd do that against a good New Philly defense, but they've been able to.
The Quakers, I think, got stunned by the late score in the first half, and then for the Tornadoes to come out on the big kickoff return right away in the third quarter, that certainly, I think, took a little zip away from them. First down and 10 Tornadoes at the Quaker 14-yard line. Lazowski gets it to the outside to Ricky Maz. Maz trying to get loose along the sideline. He'll pick up a couple of yards, not much there.
Well, you know, the other thing, too, you look at this Dover, and I knew New Philadelphia, too, but, you know, New Philly comes off of a loss last week, which really doesn't mean anything in this game, but as much as we've done Dover football, it just looks like they feel very confident in what they're doing and when they're doing it, and I think they feel at any time they can take the ball down and put the ball in the end zone.
So the Tornadoes will get lined up here. Clock rolling, 9:19 to go in the ball game. And Tornadoes, I think, are going to have to take a timeout. They just did not get lined up. We will take a break with the score. Dover 30, New Philadelphia nothing. 9:13 to go, fourth quarter. We'll be back with more in a moment here on Big Time Sports. Here is we're in the fourth quarter of our Dover New Philadelphia game. Also to remind you, Big Time Sports gearing up for high school basketball. First game on the schedule is Garraway at Indian Valley boys basketball. That coming up on December the 6th. It'll be here before you know it. The second game coming up on December the 10th. That'll be Philly at Dover in girls basketball action. But we've got some playoff football action coming up next Saturday, probably at Crater Stadium. And depends about the Quakers, too. If they can sneak in, we may have them as well. Lazowski loses the football, picked up by the Quakers. And he's running with it out to the 40-yard line, I believe. It was Mike Anderson that might have picked it up. Let's take a look. Yeah, it looks like it is Jordan Demateo, number 50, not 58 as we thought. So the ball gets popped loose. Demateo picked it up. And he lumbers down the sideline. Alex Abiel had a hold of him. Jen Durbin finishes him off. Or actually, it was Finlayson that finished him off. And the Quakers get it back with 9:03 to go. So New Philadelphia with a first down and 10 at the 41-yard line. Cox will drop back under heavy pressure. Pass intended for Dumermuth, and a misconnection there, and it's second down and 10.
Well, nice job right there by the Quakers defense to go ahead and get that turnover. Now they just need a quick score here. Like we said, 30 points on the board, but just to bring them back. And like you said a little bit ago, New Philly might not win this one, but they still have playoff implications that if the things go right, that they could be playing again next week. So they got to have
and they could be playing the Dover Tornadoes again next week.
Exactly, and
the pitch to the outside, and McEwen to the 50-yard line for a gain of 9. Looks like it probably is going to be close to a first down, and is.
Well, the thing about it too, and getting back to what we said, you go. That's one of the keys you have as a coach, and one of the goals that I'm sure the players have. That you don't only want to win your league, but you also want to get into the playoffs. Well, you win now with 2 losses, right off, in week 9 and week 10, and then you don't move the ball a whole lot in week 10. You start maybe questioning a few things you're going to do. So the Quakers got to get on the board here a couple times.
First down and 10 to McEwen. And he has been absolutely boxed in by the Tornadoes. Mammarella there along with Keith Johnson.
Yeah, the run he had right before this was probably the biggest run he's had all night. And like you said, his gains anymore or tonight have been 2 and 3 yard variety, not the 10 to 12 yard that he normally is used to picking up.
Second down and 9. Out of the I formation, the Quakers under center with Cody Cox. The quick pitch to the outside. Dumermuth has it. Dumermuth gets decent yardage into Dover territory. Penalty flag goes down. Actually, it was McEwen that carried it.
Nice job by Cody Cox on that one, because it looked like he just didn't have the right mesh with his fullback coming through here, and he kind of stumbled over him, but Cody was able to get his balance back and go ahead and pitch it to McEwen, who had a nice gain out of that. So a couple times here in this series that Will's had it, I think you see helmet to helmet right there on a Dover player, and that's what got the Quakers an extra 15.
So the Quakers going to have really good field position at the Dover 23-yard line. It's just been a constant rain as well that has made conditions difficult. The handoff to Phillips, and there is no room to run there.
I'll tell you, the Tornadoes have really, like you said, from tackle to tackle on defense, it's been hard going tonight for the Quaker running backs on trying to stick that ball right up in the middle.
Andrew Bates and Christian If, they're combining on that tackle, and they were in the right spot at the right time. Quakers have just thrown the entire playbook at the Tornadoes, and it just hasn't got them a lot of points so far. Cox goes to the outside. Dumermuth is there. Has got it. Touchdown, Quakers.
Nice job by Cody Cox. Nice job by Tyler to just Dumermuth to go ahead and just ward off the defender and make that touchdown. And again, here you can see it on replay. It was just a fade pattern that Cody was able to take a 3-step drop and just lay it out there far enough that Tyler could use his body. And again, you see the football as a receiver. You don't see it as a defender. And Tyler made a nice catch on that and a nice touchdown there by the Quakers with about 7 minutes to go in the game.
So on for the extra point. The kick is up, and that kick is good. So the score, 30-7. 7:05 to go here, fourth quarter. We'll take a break, come back with more football action in a moment here on Big Time Sports. And back here in the fourth quarter, 7:05 to go. In the fourth quarter, New Philadelphia getting on the board. They took the turnover on the Corey Lasowski fumble. The return by Jordan Dumermuth Jordan Dematio rather, out to about the 40-yard line. They took it in from there. Nice mix of pass and run. And they're on the board with their first 7 of the game. The Chira and Drapcho back deep for the Tornadoes. Andrew Silva ready to kick it away.
Thank you so much.
It'll be DeChira. The 20, 25, out to the 27-yard line. And that's where the Tornadoes will have it now. And we talked earlier about bringing players into the game. I don't think that's going to happen now because the Quakers ended up scoring a touchdown.
Exactly, and like I said, I thought if Dover would have put 7 on the board on that last one, I think Coach F might have looked at, getting some of his people in and getting ready to go. If you think about it, Scott, these Tornado players haven't really played a whole 4 quarters all season. And I think that's a thing that maybe he looks at in this game. He might want to play them all 4 quarters just to be able to get them, in sync. Because once the playoffs come, it doesn't get any easier.
First down and 10 for the Tornadoes at the 28-yard line. They'll go to the screen to Matlick. And Matlick taken down after a short gain. And Kyle Sattler's limping around. I think got a left ankle injury.
I'm not sure.
Trying to walk it off.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he had there because on a punt return it looked like he was a little slow getting up. Didn't know whether he had a cramp or what it was, but you're going to have a holding penalty here on that play on one of the Tornado linemen, I believe. So it's going to back him up a little bit.
You've got to wonder if the lead hasn't caused them to lose a little bit of focus
I don't
here.
think there's any question about it.
That can be costly though. As you look to next week, you want to be sharp.
Right. But again, I guess anytime you're sitting with 6.5 minutes to go and up 30-7 on anybody, you're going to lose a little bit of concentration on what you're doing.
Clock running down to 6.5 minutes to go. And Lazowski ready to go with the snap. And the Tornadoes lose the football, still loose, and I think they came up with it. Tornadoes getting really sloppy right here.
One of the linemen, I think, were enough looking down right there that they were able to jump on the ball. And I think, like you said, their offensive line right now is getting a little bit laxed on going ahead and holding the Quakers out for Lasowski to have a little bit of time to throw it.
The Quakers really picked up the intensity after the touchdown, and now they're starting to give the Tornadoes some problems. Lasowski on 2nd and 24 is going to run away with it, and he's going to have a penalty flag that's going to go down.
I think he got another hold on one of the Tornado linemen, so, the Tornadoes going backwards quickly on this series right here, and they might want to get in a position where they get 4th down and just punt it out of there.
Yeah, that's one of the things that they've got to consider, certainly, and...
But like you said, just this last play that the Quakers had a little bit more of intensity here on this defensive series just because the offense was able to put the ball in the end zone, and you don't realize, I guess, how much of a impact that has on players when somebody can make a play here or there and get either the offense or defense going.
So I think they actually declined the penalty. It's 3rd down and 24. Lazowski is just going to run it himself. I think they just want to get enough room to probably punt the football and stay in bounds, and that's what he does. He gets out to about the 25-yard line, and the clock will continue to run.
And that was probably a good move on his part and a good move on Coach If's part right there, is just get a 4th down here. And if I'm not mistaken, this might be the first punt of the game for the Tornadoes. Is that correct?
I believe that is correct. So now we saw what happened to the Quakers when they tried to punt. With being as wet as it is.
And it's first time in the 4th quarter, that your punt team's been on the field, so you need to get a good snap back there. So
Chico DeChira comes on to
get it off.
Lone back for the Quakers is Will McEwen. Good snap, kick is away, and that is going to get to McEwen. He's going to have to pick it up and just lay on it at about the 39-yard line. He had a tough time coming up with it.
Well, he kind of dropped it right there and thought that he could pick it up, but he knew right then that the Tornadoes had a beat on him, so he figured the smart thing to do is just follow the football.
4:25 to go in this one. Dover leading at 30-7. And the Quakers will have it here. They scored the last time they had the football. See what they can do with this series. Burek in motion. They look at the option. Cox has it, and it'll be Tyler Hawk chasing him down from behind. And a gain of 3, making it 2nd down and 7.
You know, you look around, pretty much you still got most of the Tornadoes in on defense, and you know, I'm sure that they've got a little pride here in their defense too, that they don't want to, you know, let the Quakers even get another 7 on the board. So you're going to play those kids, and like you said, you want to get them ready because you know, and they know, they're definitely in week 11.
Out of the eye, the pitch to McEwen. They try to get him to the edge, and he is going to be close to the first down, maybe just a little short. And it'll be 3rd down.
Well, what do you think here, Scott, with them just keeping the football on the ground, you know? You just happy with getting out of here, getting beat 30-7, or, you know, you want to turn around and put another score on to get this offense back?
Well, you got a chance to do that. Still got a lot of time. Certainly can run the ball here and get the call to McEwen. Easily has the first down.
Right there's the plays that New Philly's used to seeing out of him, and like you said, so far tonight, Dover's pretty much had that play under control.
So 1st down and 10 for the Quakers at the Dover 44-yard line. In the battle of quarters, Quakers doing pretty well for themselves here in the 4th quarter. McEwen follows his blockers, and a nice gain. But the clock continues to run with 2.5 minutes to go here in the ball game. Coming up at the end of our game, we'll have the Manor Restaurant MVP. We'll also have the Edelweiss Tavern and Inn post-game show. That's all coming up as we get ready to wind this one down. Cox to the outside. Burek has it. And Burek down inside the 30. Chico DeChira over there to make the stop. It's enough, though, for the Quakers to get the 1st and 10.
Nice job right there. Just a nice out pattern and a nice pitch and catch by Cox and Burek over there just to keep that. And that's the thing. You just got to keep moving the football, get these offensive guys knowing that they can move the ball.
The pitch to McEwen. And a nice gain down to the 25-yard line. Gain of 4, 2nd down and 6 with the ball at the 25-yard line. Cox looks to go to the outside, and the pass caught by the Quakers as Tyler Dummermuth, another big catch.
Nice job right there by Dummermuth, just getting a little bit higher than the defender and gone up and bringing the ball down. You can see Cody just goes back on a 3-step drop. Tyler just goes down, tries to run a little bit of a fade pattern, and got the defender turned around, and Tyler kept his eye on the ball and was able to make a nice catch.
Looked like DeChira might have even got a piece of that. McEwen down to the 6-yard line. Gain of 3. Into the final minute of this one. And the Quakers trying to huddle in a hurry. Second down and goal. Cox, the fade into the corner. It's incomplete, broken up there nicely by the defenders, DeChara. And also Ian Drapcho there.
Well, I think right there, pretty much the Tornadoes knew what was coming on that, and Cody threw it just a little bit short and didn't give Tyler much of a chance to go up after that one. Chico made a nice play, nice defensive play on that one for the Tornadoes. Going to bring Dumermuth over this side this time, maybe try him over here.
3rd down and goal. Cox crossed the middle, intended for Witter, got it. Picked up a couple yards, and it'll be 4th down.
Could be about the last play of the game right here, if the Quakers can get up and get it going.
Not sure they're going to get this
I
play
don't think
off.
they're going to get this one off.
They're going to say they did not get the play off, and the Tornadoes will win the 104th meeting against the New Philadelphia Quakers 30-7. We'll come back to wrap it up for you here in a moment. Stay with us right here on Big Time Sports. There you see our final score. Dover beating New Philadelphia 30-7 to take the lead in the all-time series. Now Dover with 48 wins, 47 losses, and 9 ties. So the Tornadoes win their 3rd straight. They also win the ECOL title outright for the 2008-2009 season. Let's take a look at our Edelweiss Tavern and in post-game statistics. And there you see the story. Normally when you see that last column and you see Dover with 3 turnovers, the Quakers with 1, that would be a good thing, but tonight it didn't make that big of a difference.
No, it didn't. The big situation again, we talked about a couple times during the ball game, was right there. I think when the Quakers didn't cash in on the in the second quarter a couple times, and when the Tornadoes scored right at the end of the half. Then I think what really put the icing on the cake was when Dover come out with the second half kickoff and just took it 80 yards right down the field with Chico, and nobody touching him. So that really put the Quakers in a world of hurt. But you can see right here, the stats tell it. Rushing 18 attempts, which is normal for Dover, for 95 yards. And passing 18 to 23. You look at only 248 yards and thinking he didn't have a great game tonight, which maybe he didn't, but he was very effective in what he had to do. Total offense for the Dover Tornadoes, 343 yards. But like you said, they had 3 turnovers, which was very uncharacteristic for them. For New Philly, 40 attempts rushing, 133 yards. I will say, give the Tornadoes great credit on defense. They did pretty much shut Will McEwen down, who was a 1,200-yard rusher on the season, until the 4th quarter, where he did pick up some extra yardage. Passing 10 to 21 for 109 yards, 242 yards total offense. Only 1 turnover for the Quakers tonight, but just a little bit, Scott, of a different type of ball game, I think, than a regular Dover Philly game.
Yeah, really. It really never got into a flow. It just the Quakers had their chances in the first half, and after that, the Tornadoes took over. And then give the Quakers credit. They came back in the 4th quarter, really played hard in that 4th quarter, got a score, almost got a second score, and really made it a ball game.
Yeah, they would have. If people would have looked and saw the score was 30 to 14, thinking, it was a pretty good ball game. What I was really impressed with was Dover in the second half offensively. How we normally see them take about a minute and a half, 2 minutes to score, but you notice tonight in the 3rd quarter and a little bit of the 4th quarter, they were taking 4 and 5 minutes off the clock with their offense, by just picking up chunks of first downs, and give New Philly's defense credit. They were keeping them out of the end zone, but I thought Dover utilized the clock a lot in the second half.
If you really look at the key series of plays, though, it was right before the half when Dover put the extra touchdown on with 50 seconds to go.
Right, it's 7-0 if they don't score. Philly goes in saying, look, we had 2 times down there that we could not put the ball in the end zone. We're only down 7-0. We're looking at coming back, hold them on defense, the first series out, and let's get our offense back on and get gone. That, and then you turn around and DeShire just takes the ball right, takes the winds right out of New Philly Sails in 11 seconds on the kickoff.
Well, Big Time Sports will have the Dover Tornadoes in playoff football action next Saturday night at Crater Stadium. Who they're going to be playing remains to be seen. We also want to wish the Quakers the best of luck as
They got a shot.
they got a shot here. We may also have a football playoff appearance by the Quakers if that works out as well. So we'll see if they can squeeze into that 8th and final spot, which could mean, in fact, another meeting between Dover and New
Philly
Philadelphia.
matchup in Week 11. It sure could. So
That's all possible. And that's been the Edelweiss Tavern Inn post-game show. Before or after the game, try the Edelweiss Tavern in downtown Sugar Creek. During the week, try their delicious lunch and dinner specials. And on Friday and Saturday, they feature Italian pasta and the very best steak in prime rib in the county. The Edelweiss Tavern in downtown Sugar Creek. We'll see you there. And the final thing we'll do tonight is name our Manor Restaurant MVP, Chico DeGiro, the Dover Tornadoes. Our Manor Restaurant MVP, big touchdown run, couple of catches.
nice
played
job defensively.
as well. So he is our Manor Restaurant MVP. That's going to do it for our ball game between Dover and New Philadelphia. The Tornadoes come out with the victory, 30-7, over their arch rival, the New Philadelphia Quakers.